This video is going to show you how to complete the square. Completing the square is a method that we use for a couple of different things, and one of those things is to solve a quadratic equation. So find the exact roots of x squared plus 10x minus 8 equals 0 by completing the square. In this case, the question is telling us to use this method. It won't always do that, but whenever you see simplest radical form, that's going to tell you to either use the quadratic formula or completing the square. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up some blank spaces. Plus blank, I'm going to put after the 10x, and I'm going to put a minus blank. And then I have my minus 8 and equals 0. In the blank spaces, you're always going to fill in b over 2 squared. So in this case, my b is 10. So I'm going to do 10 over 2 squared. So 10 over 2 is 5, and 5 squared gives me 25. So in each blank space, I'm going to put in a 25. Notice one was plus 25 and one was minus. So the plus and the minus cancel each other out, which is why you're allowed to do this, because you haven't really changed the equation. So I'm going to factor. So I'm going to get x plus 5 and x plus 5, which can be written as x plus 5 squared. And this will always happen. You can actually skip this intermediate step here, and you can go straight to the binomial squared. And then my last step is going to be to combine these two pieces. Minus 25 minus 8. So I get minus 33 equals 0. And now I've completed the square, so now I just need to finish solving. So I'm going to add 33 to both sides. And I get x plus 5 squared equals 33. So to keep solving here, I'm going to take the square root of each side of the equation, because the square root and the squared are going to cancel each other out on the left, and I'm left with x plus 5. And on the right, I have plus or minus the square root of 33. 33 is not a perfect square, and I also don't have a perfect square that divides in evenly, so I can't simplify that. So I'm just going to leave it alone. And my last step is just going to be to subtract 5. So x equals negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 33. And there's your answer by completing the square. Let's take a look at one more type of question that involves completing the square. Which equation has the same solution as x squared minus 6x minus 12 equals 0? Now, if you notice, my answer choices, because this is multiple choice, all kind of look like completing the square. So that's how I know that this would probably be my best bet in order to solve or find the answer. So I'm going to set it up. X squared minus 6x plus blank minus 12 equals 0. And remember, in that blank space, it's b over 2 squared. So in this case, we have negative 6 over 2 squared, which if I put that in my calculator, it's going to give me 9. So I'm filling in plus 9 in my blank space and minus 9. So now I want to factor. Remember, the shortcut is it's going to be something squared. So in this case, it's x minus 3 squared. And then what I'm going to do is combine my two outside pieces. Minus 9 minus 12 gives me minus 21. So if I take a look, I don't have an answer choices that match, but I can get rid of choices 1 and 3 because they both have x plus 3 squared. And now all I'm going to do is add 21 to both sides. X minus 3 squared equals 21, and there is answer choice 2. So they didn't want you to finish solving. You could, but because it was multiple choice, I knew I had to stop. But if they wanted you to solve, you would square root both sides and then continue from there.